Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. So today is Monday, August 31st, so it's almost September already. But yeah, just wanted to make this quicker-ish type video from what I've normally been making. We just finished our deload week, and as I've been doing lately, I've been doing no caffeine for the entire week. So I mean, I normally only drink caffeine in my pre-workout. So the caffeine-free PR Breaker, as always, links in the description down below for the discount for that. But yeah, so nothing too exciting for the deload week, except we did start using the Texas bar and the Texas rack whenever it was available. But yeah, Texas bars in this gym are pretty much always available, so we're always going to get to be training on that. So I got to train comp specific because we are about under 11 weeks, about to be 10 weeks when this weekend's out from our next meet. So yeah, I feel like it's very important to use, if you do, or if you have the equipment available, to use the equipment that you're going to have in the meet. You got to practice like you're going to play. But yeah, you guys just seen the footage from the second half of the deload. It was the pause squat, tempo bench, and the pause deadlift. So last week we did also start counting for our cut, cutting macros a little bit. I actually cut it pretty hard, especially because I knew it was a deload week, so I wanted to get into deficit a lot faster. And yeah, definitely did that. I think on the non-training days. So what I've been doing lately, it changes of course, as always, but pre-non-training days, I was going about 1,700 calories, and then the day before training days, I was going 1,900, 2,000 calories. But yeah, that's pretty aggressive just to get my body in a deficit a lot faster, because I didn't need all the calories for the deload week especially. I feel like I'm going to need more calories this week, because usually week 2, week 3 is pretty intense, but not as intense as week 2, and then week 4, we may or may not need to bump up calories slightly. But yeah, calories are bumped up again slightly starting this week. But we're still going to be in a deficit, but not as much as in a deficit. But yeah, so we kind of fine-tweaked our my squat form, I feel like, especially going into this block. So it was actually a Calgary barbell video. Shout out to those guys, they put out great information. As always, Bryce them. But yeah, in his how to squat video, they put out a really great how to deadlift video. So if you guys haven't checked that out, check that out. But they just put out their how to squat video, also a great video. He talked about bracing for the squat and how mainly there are two predominant, I guess, cues or ideas people have in their minds while they're squatting. Basically an anterior dominant brace versus a posterior dominant brace. Now, early into like my squatting and just starting the powerlifting, I know for sure that I was always thinking about what was going on in the front. So anterior dominant bracing is going to be characterized more so. I mean, things are always on a continuum, and I'd say majority of people are going to be more towards the middle and slightly more towards one side, not on the extremes. But anterior dominant bracing is characterized as you're thinking about more ribs down. You might even engage the glutes and have a slight slight lumbar tuck under with the engaged glutes before the squat. And yeah, so it's more so you're thinking everything in the front, ribs down, versus posterior dominant, which is what I feel like I slowly transitioned to, and where I have found the most recent success with my squat numbers going up. It was all because somebody mentioned to me, maybe your squat might benefit from more thoracic extension. So that's what I had in my head. I was thinking what was going on the posterior side rather than anterior side. So the posterior side dominant brace squat, you're going to be thinking about lumbar extension keeping that slight lumbar extension, maybe your glutes are gonna look like they're sticking out a little bit more. You might feel a stretch in the hamstrings and adductors a little bit, and you're gonna be thinking about upper back extension also. So yeah, that's exactly what I have been thinking about lately for my squat, is everything that's going on in the back. And yeah, the guys at Calgary Barbell just really kind of allowed me to look at it from an objective point of view and see two sides to the story. And I found myself that I was leaning more towards one side, because I've never really heard anybody before talk about different bracing in the squat. Usually you always hear the ribs down cue and everything in the front. So, but I kind of got away from that, just instinctively thinking about more thoracic extension, and I guess I became a more posterior dominant brace squatter in the squat, at least. But yeah, so yeah, there's not one way to do everything, guys. The anterior versus posterior kind of opened up my eyes to that. And yeah, maybe you guys could take away one or two things from this video. But during my pause squats, here we go. So during my pause squat day, I actually tried to go back to anterior squatting, anterior bracing for the squat, to see if the ribs down cue and engaged glutes would kind of click back to how I first started squatting. And I'll throw the anterior video up right now. I'll play it. But yeah, so it looks like my lumbar going down into my glutes. It's much more of a straight line going up. And I mean, the squat didn't feel bad, but to me that day, it just didn't feel good. I take notes throughout all my lifts, especially if I'm trying something different. And I remember for that set, it's a last warm-up, so it's nothing super heavy. It last warm-up on the deload, so it's even a step back from that, from a normal last warm-up. But yeah, it just didn't feel too good. And yeah, so I'll roll the footage of the posterior dominant, so what I have been doing with the squat. As you can see, my lumbar curve is slightly more prominent, but it looks like it's sticking out a little bit more. And I mean, it moved maybe slightly better the entire set than when I was thinking about what was going on in the front, but it felt a ton better, just like in my head and the way that my body felt. That my body positioning felt like it was more built for thinking about more posterior bracing in the squat. So yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of reaffirmed that as of right now, I mean, it can always change in the future, but I'm going to be thinking about what's going on posteriorly. I'm going to be thinking lumbar extension, thoracic extension, maybe feeling a slight stretch in the hamstrings, adductor area before I start. But yeah, so just wanted to kind of put that out there, that there's no one right way to do everything. So hopefully you guys can maybe take one or two things away from this. Maybe try out some posterior, or if you have been posterior, maybe try out anterior. But I feel like anterior is more the common cue out there that people throw out there with ribs down. So this might benefit you guys if you guys might want to try to switch to maybe a posterior dominant squat, braced squat, like how I've done. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Nice quick video for today. As always, guys, stay safe and put in that work, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.